The Knicks, pretty much a wire-to-wire win, beating the Wizards 109-91. Another double-double for Julius Randle, 24 points and a season-high 18 rebounds. But starting center Mitchell Robinson, a double-double in the first half, suffers a fractured right hand. The Knicks say he'll be reevaluated tomorrow. Derrick Rose, second game as a Knick, efficient again with 14 points, 6 assists and 4 steals in 20 minutes. And the Knicks win it 109-91. Back in our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito along with Wally Szczerbiak. Alan Hahn joins us from his home studio. And Wally, no Bradley Beal tonight for the Wizards. He was resting. Knicks took advantage. And aside from some anxious moments in the third quarter, they pretty much led from start to finish. That was a phenomenal team effort. They pounded the Wizards on the board, 65-46. Won a game that they should win. That's what we said at the beginning of the game. And this is what Derrick Rose brings to a team when he comes in. When you walk out onto a floor and Bradley Beal's not in the lineup, and then you got Derrick Rose coming off the bench, dropping 14 points on 7 for 11. He's the second leading scorer off the bench in the NBA. You win the games you're supposed to win. Think about if they would have had Derrick Rose maybe against Oklahoma City, a game early on in the year where they probably could have won, should have won, but they gave away that game. I don't think they lose games like that when they have Derrick Rose in their lineup. That's what he brings to the lineup. Obviously, the Mitch injury is tough, but I think the Knicks will be able to fill that void for a couple weeks. Alan, Mitchell Robinson, first time in his career that he records a double-double in the first half of a game. He had 10 points and 14 rebounds. The Knicks say he'll be checked out again tomorrow. He's going to be out for at least a period of time here. We don't know how long. How do the Knicks adjust?
Well, they have to adjust. Obviously, Nerlens Noel now emerges as a starting center, and he has to now be the anchor of the defense. And you're fortunate now to have him on the roster. It's why they signed him. It's why they wanted him. Because he, like Mitch, he's such a good rim protector, and he's very good in the back end. But they're going to miss Mitchell Robinson. And what a dominant force he was in the first half of this game. As you see, where it might have been the injury, he just started shaking the hand. Did he whack it on the rim? Did he hit it against Julius Randle? It was hard to tell when it happened, but you could see that it was bothering him. But again, this is your 22-year-old starting center who was really emerging. And I know offensively he wasn't involved a lot, but he still affected defense. And he was very good, and he was getting better and better and better. And these are reps now that he won't get. They'll miss him, yes, and I agree with Wally. They can patchwork now, and you do have Noel, who certainly can fill the void. He's got to stay healthy. It's also why they signed Taj Gibson, that experience, a guy that can come in off the bench and give you minutes, and you're not going to lose much. But it is tough to see your young center go out like this and miss time, and who knows if we'll see him even before the All-Star break. And that's, for me, a couple of things. It's the reps that he certainly needs to get better. And for the Knicks, it's that big body who can rebound and block shots that helps your defense.
I tell you, mentioned that Robinson had the 14 rebounds in the first half. As a team, you gave the number. 65 rebounds tonight for the Knicks, by far a season high. And Randle with the 18, a season high for him individually to go with his 24 points. He was dominant, Julius Randle.
And the effort was phenomenal. This Knicks team is strong. I mean, they really are. In the paint, they will pound you down low. And Julius Randle just had a physical advantage over pretty much everyone on the Washington Wizards roster. I mean, his stat line was just great. And if you notice, with Rose now in the lineup, Julius Randle doesn't have to do as much dribbling, as much creating. He had 4 assists, which is good, but he's not going to be asked to create as much offense. He's going to be able to go back to what he's good at, and that's just going and getting buckets and pounding people on the boards.
All right, Alan, it's really interesting. With Derrick Rose going for 14 and Emmanuel Quickley with 16 and Elfrid Payton with 12, all of a sudden you're getting a ton of points from those 3 guys here. Yeah, it's a small sample size, but so far Rose and Quickley coming off the bench with Payton starting worked out really well.
Yeah, you certainly need to get that scoring from the guard position. That's one of the reasons why Derrick Rose is here. And just quickly on Payton, he did have 6 field goals in this game. 10-3 now the Knicks are when he has 5 or more field goals made in a game. That stat lives on. But Derrick Rose's impact, as Wally mentioned, once he comes in the game, you just see an energy lift, just like we saw in Miami, the same exact thing. He's an attacker. He's so difficult to keep in front. And I'll tell you what, Wally, the quickness is there, isn't it? Like, it's still there. His ability to just get by you in that one quick step, he's so shifty. And I love this. Look at him, out of a cannon, just ran down the floor, was able to get to that shot. There was a couple of times. He had 4 steals, and a lot of it was just his tenacity, and I love it. I think he's got great energy in his legs. You're seeing that they got to keep the minutes under control. Look at this. Everybody's on one side of the floor, and he's playing one-on-one. What a great angle that is to see the little ISO action. But I just love the fact that he can come in and score. He's playing with joy. But when you say, oh, they got to start him, look how great he is, understand at this point in his career, 20 to 25 minutes is probably the max you're going to get out of him.
I mean, look at those numbers. Efficiency, 20 minutes. And this is what he wants. At this point in his career, he doesn't want to be taxed physically because he's had all the injuries. But when he's in the game, he's kind of telling the coach, listen, maximize what I do. Let me do what I do for a small amount of time, and then I'll stay healthy and I'll be able to contribute, you know, every single game with this type of performance. I was in that same situation at the end of my career where I wanted to come off the bench. If I played starters minutes, you know, I wouldn't have the same energy level in the next couple games after, you know, I could get through one game, but then 2 games after, you feel it. And Derrick Rose is in the same spot where he's comfortable coming off the bench. He gets to be the man out there on the court, and he gets to dominate second-line guys. I mean, this is a former MVP that's going against other bench players, and they don't have a chance to stop him. And he's showing how effective he can still be.